Good morning, Gentle Yoga. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Let's find our breath. You can see I brought out a blanket just to pad the knees, right? We're at home, so we have our stuff handy. We're gonna just start in tabletop and we're gonna get started. I'm gonna try to keep these videos short as I'm not a YouTube star. So let's begin Gentle Yoga to activate our core. Let's find our muscles in our pelvic floor that we use to stop our urine flow with. And let's begin to lift those muscles up. It's that imaginary elevator. We're lifting those muscles, drawing the belly button to the spine. We're finding our breath, breathing so deep. In through the nose, close down the back of the throat. And listen for the whisper, right? I'm grateful that you've joined me. Hello there. As we're activating our core, we're gonna be mindful to take that belly button, kiss it to our spine, and then draw the belly button and spine all the way to our heart center. And when we do that, that's a great reminder to check into our gratitude. We've been in this series for a while now, right, together. We're gonna stay here. This comes from Dr. William Larkin, his book on growing the positive mind. And one way we can do that is through the practice of gratitude on a daily basis. So we're strengthening our mind, right? Growing the up spiral life, so that when things go wrong, we're quicker to come back to gratitude. So we're just warming up here. Tabletop position. Our wrists are stacked under shoulders. Our knees are stacked under hips. Our core is strong. We're spreading our hands wide as that protects our wrists. Loosening up the low back. And we're beginning to bring some gentle strength here to our chest, our shoulders. There's a purpose for that strength, right? Tabletop, we might send our right hip like it's coming to our right shoulder. We might look over our shoulder, breaking up tension, low back, neck. We might do that on the left side. So just a gentle reminder that our core is our protection, protects our movement. While we keep that core active, we're also strengthening the core. Let's take one more flow with your breath. When we find cat, we exhale. And when we find cow, we inhale. And then we'll just find a place, easy seat. Might not be on your knees, right? If we're on the knees, knees are in line with the hips. We might have a seat on our blanket. We might outstretch the legs, just rolling the wrists, breathing, feeling. Every time we breathe in, not just during our practice today, but let's find something we're grateful for. Maybe we keep it simple. Maybe we focus on our breath, our health. Maybe it's for the break in the rain. Who knows if it's raining where you are today, right? Breathe, feel, inhale. So we're gonna purposely warm up the shoulders, the chest, the thighs, and we'll look for a gentle release. So let's come back, tabletop. Let's find our forearms. Elbows under shoulders, knees under hips. Our toes can be tucked or flat, right? See what feels good in the feet. And then let's come back here. Same motion of the cat-cow. We're just putting a little bit mobility, more mobility in the shoulders. So a flow is a movement with your breath, not mine. If we're confused on when to breathe, just slow down the breath and then pace the movement with your breath. So just a gentle reminder, we all have different breath cycles, right? Tabletop, spread those hands wide. That protects our wrists, right? And then let's come back. I like to call this wag the tail of the dog, even though we're not in dog yet. But we're just kind of sending those hips side to side, and then we're looking over our shoulder. That breaks up tension and that thick muscle that runs alongside the neck to the top of the shoulders. And then free flow, that's any movement that feels good, right? And any combination. Hands or forearms. We're warming up the spine. And we're connecting to the practice of our gratitude. Let's take one or two more flows. Whatever it takes to be equal and even. And then we'll find our first child's pose. Let's bring our knees wide. Extend the arms so all 10 fingers reach towards the top of the mat. Elbows off the earth, and then see if the forehead makes it to the earth. If it doesn't, use those hands, protect the neck, right? A little bit of softening here, send the hips side to side. Maybe even roll the forehead across the earth. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath, just allowing tension to gently release from the hips, the low back, even the shoulders. And whenever you find that next round of breath, just start to lengthen that exhale. Just signaling gentle practice that it's time to release tension going on in our mind as well as our physical body. Knowing you can return to child's pose or any posture whenever you need without having to be reminded or cued. When you're ready, let's find our tabletop. Stack those joints as the protection of the posture. We're going to step the right knee forward. We're going to find our first kneeling lunge. Let's talk about that for a moment. Our right knee is over our ankle. That's our protection for our knee, right? Stacking of joints protects the body, just like that core strong protects the body. Now we might move up, or we might keep our hands into the earth, right? We're breathing a little bit of release into our left hip flexor. Notice that left knee is behind the hip. And then notice I have a blanket down, right? So the great thing about this YouTube is you can hit pause, go get a blanket, place it under the knees. We talk about that a lot in the gym. EOS flattens the curve, right? But nobody really feels like they want to bring a blanket with them. I get that, right? So we got them now because we're at home. That's the good thing about this, right? So let's bring our hands back to the earth. Core is strong. Let's exhale back, right? Shimmy that body back to tabletop. And let's flow a cat-cow in any order that feels good. So as we start to bring a little bit more warmth to the spine, we might notice a little bit more range of motion. Feeling those shoulders drop, maybe lift the corners of the lips. Oh, the sun feels so good. Get outside, right? Get in the backyard, the patio, whatever you have, just to soak in a little bit of the sun, a little bit of the nature. It's very healing for the body. It's a great way to de-stress, right? Okay, tabletop. Left leg forward. Kneeling lunge, structure of the pose. Let's talk about it, right? Knee over ankle. Core is strong, hands can be down, right? If we have yoga blocks, we can use those for length. If this feels good, we're here, shoulders back and down. Breathe. So we're bringing, inviting gentle strength into our thighs, our core. Gentle stretch. So this might be for Abbott Corporate Fitness. A lot of you are now working from home, right? So hip flexors might be tense, shoulders. For all of us, maybe we're sitting down watching Netflix a lot, enjoying our free time. Maybe, maybe not, right? Coming back. And let's find a cat-cow, maybe some side-to-side motion. Getting comfortable with yourself, right? Listening to the body. So that book that we've been referencing, Growing the Positive Mind by Dr. William Larkin, he suggests it's very important, let's send that right knee forward. Kneeling lunge and eversion. So we might come up to here, maybe not. We might lift one arm, breathe. We might lift two. Soften the shoulders. Just flow with the pace of the breath. We're using this flow to build this vibration of gratitude, but to also warm up the body. Again, a flow is a moving meditation, right? We want to do a cat-cow, a little shift of the hips in between. All right, take that left leg. Breathe, feel what we do for one side of the body. Do for the other. Inhale. So this book that we're referencing, the doctor mentions it's very important for us to check in to our negative feelings as opposed to ignore them or avoid them. There's a lot of negative stuff going on right now, right? Our negative feelings are our guideposts for protection to move us into the positive. So we check in, right? In the practice of yoga, that's our joints. Avoiding pain in our joints. That's why we got this little blanket under our knees, right? Continue to flow. It's your flow, not mine. We'll take one more each side, whatever we're doing. It's the practice of mindfulness, acknowledging those negative feelings, and then use those to move into the positive, right? So if that's pain in the joints, we come out of that posture. We make an adjustment to the posture. Maybe it's too much news watching. Right now we got to watch the news. We got to see what's going on. But if we start to feel really negative or grouchy with others and how they're responding, maybe that's a little pause, reset, turn off the news, focus on something positive. Great job. I'm gonna quiet down. Let's check in. Child's pose. Focus on 3 more rounds of breath. Really purposefully asking that exhale to just gently lengthen. Gentle yoga, if your body needs to stay in child's pose, stay there. Breathe. When you are ready, we're going to come back. Core is strong. We're going to find our tabletop, stacking the joints. We're going to slowly and gently move our right leg forward and welcome back our kneeling lunge. We're going to stay here for several rounds of breath. So again, find a place that feels good. Our back toes can be tucked if the feet need a stretch, right? If the knee needs a little bit more security, toes flat in the earth, that protects the knee. Our back knee's behind our hip, our front knee is over ankle. Hey, hey, breathe. Yeah, so we're inviting this gentle strength into the body. We can lift one arm, we can lift two. We can open up our chest, bringing in cactus arms. Focus on the breath. Growing the positive mind is from the practice of gratitude. So maybe you're really struggling right now and you can only find one thing you're grateful for. Stick with that same thing this entire practice. If you're feeling really good, then let the gratitude flow, right? From one thing to the next. There's no right or wrong, so maybe it's the blue skies for sure. The warmth in this day for me for sure, right? Breathe. 2 more rounds of breath. So we're getting this strength in that front thigh. Maybe trembling and shaking, that's a good thing. Maybe one more round of breath. Remember, you can rest anytime you need. When we're ready, exhale. Tabletop. Find your flow in between, it's your flow. One more flow. We're building this vibration through this flow with the breath and the movement of a positive mindset by focusing on gratitude, staying here in this present moment. Left leg, send it through. Good to see you, Gentle Yoga. Find the structure of the pose. Hands stay grounded. We know this, right? It's a practice. Breathe, feel. Listen to your body. Maybe it feels good to lift one arm. Maybe both, maybe not, right? Check in. So pain is not welcome when we're stretching. We're looking for that burn, that shake, that tremble in our muscles. Yeah, it means we're gently growing stronger. Breathe deeper. 4 more rounds of whisper breath. Once we feel complete, slowly and gently move back to tabletop. We're gonna find our forearms. And let's try a cat-cow here from our forearms. Bringing a little bit more strength and mobility into our shoulders so we can really get in there and stretch. I'm going to give options. So the structure of the pose, take a look at the body. The elbow is underneath the shoulder, right? That protects the shoulders. We can go flat to the hands into the earth, or we can bind or connect the hands. So see what feels best in your elbows. If we connect the hands, we're going to push hard into the knife edge of the hands, the pinkies, okay? So just kind of try both and see what your body likes best. Core is strong, tuck the toes, head and neck in neutral. We're gonna find our first dolphin pose. Keep a deep bend in the knees. Core is strong. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. So it's kind of like down dog, right? But now we're on our forearms. Our core stays strong. We might stay here, or we might soften the knees to the earth. We might flow a cat-cow. So we're getting some more options, Gentle Yoga, right? We might come back, deep bend in the knees, keeping the back flat, neck is neutral. Gently shake the head and neck. Gently yes, gently no. And then maybe draw the rib cage a little bit closer towards the thighs. And then check the breath. So we're building a lot of strength in our upper back, our shoulders, our core. So our safety is, can we hear our breath? That's one of the points to that yogic breath, the whisper breath. If we can't hear our breath, then that means we're either breathing way too shallow or we're holding our breath, which happens when we work hard, when we get stressed, right? So we left the forearms, we come back, right? Breathe, feel dolphin pose, maybe, maybe not. Keeping those knees bent prevents the back from rounding. Now, we might do what's called swimming the dolphin. Core is strong. We might start to exhale and then inhale, our eye gaze up to the tops of the fingers, fingernails, and then exhale back. So it's this gentle movement, a lot of core strength, A lot of shoulder mobility, right? Flowing with the breath. Maybe one more. This is a big strength builder, gentle yoga. Core is strong. Maybe we're taking a rest. Maybe we're taking one more. We're using this heat building motion to safely stretch. Knees to the earth. Ooh, we can do hard things. Gentle yoga, welcome back. Tabletop. Let's look at releasing the neck, the shoulders. Core is strong. Let's inhale, thread the needle. We're gonna take that left hand and bring it underneath the right. And then our ear's gonna come to the earth. Hey there. We can keep our right hand here, or we can extend, kind of like we're coming back to child's pose. We can take our right hand to the low back. If we want to work on more strength in our shoulder, we can stack. So look at all these options, right? I want you to find what feels best in your body. Breathe. Releasing the low back. Releasing the shoulders. Releasing the neck, that thick muscle, right, that runs alongside the neck. So one of my top requests I receive in gentle yoga is neck, shoulders, and low back. So we're taking care of all that right here. I'm going to quiet down. Let's take 3 more grateful rounds of breath. Gently nudging our exhale a little bit longer each time. Final round of breath. That active core is our protection for the movement. Let's unwind, stack up the joints, right? Bringing that structure of the pose back. And then maybe take a cat-cow. Maybe shift the hips. Let's see how that feels. Threading the right hand through, right? Inhale, core is strong. Thread it right through like we're threading the needle. Underneath the left, ear comes to the earth. So if we need a little bit more protection for our neck, we can bring maybe a stacked blanket under our ear. Same options. So we can extend the left hand. Left hand can come to the low back, up or down, right? We can move it anywhere it feels good. Or we can stack. Just kind of experiment and then settle in where it feels best to your body. Now stay there, gentle yoga. And use the power of your breath. Check in. Where are you feeling the most tension? Make little micro adjustments. And then invite that grateful breath into your body. And then send your exhale where it needs to go. Right? So that could be tension going on in the mind or anywhere in the physical body. Shoulders, low back. Final round. Whisper breath. When we feel ready, core is strong, we'll unwind. And then we'll come back, tabletop, stepping the right leg through. We've been here before, kneeling lunge. Find what feels good in your body. We're gently building the practice. Core is strong, breath is smooth. We might see how it feels to take a little bit more of an opening to our chest, our shoulders. So we might take and just gently bind fingers behind the nape of our neck. And we might, if it feels good, look up. Gently, breathing, feeling, right? We got a little bit of balance here, core is strong. And we've got a lot of strength going on in that right thigh. Listen for the breath. Maybe a great practice of gratitude is just to be grateful for the strength in our legs. Right? That right thigh, gently working hard, breathe. Lengthen the exhale, feel. So even though we're holding the posture, we're still in the flow of the breath, right? This vibration of gratitude, pranic energy, peace. One more round of breath. Maybe you're resting. Complete, break from the bind. Oh, I got a nice burn in that right thigh. Great job. And then maybe child's pose. Knees wide if that feels good. Exhale. Hips back, protect the neck. Forehead is into the earth or the hands. More rounds, long whisper breath. Be mindful to hydrate often. Gentle yoga. When your body is ready, let's make our way back to that tabletop. Finding the structure of the pose, core is strong. Left leg steps forward. Finding your kneeling lunge. Breathing, feeling. Five rounds of Ujjayi breath. Find a place that feels right. Deep release to the front of the right hip. Chest, the shoulders. And a nice little stretch for the front of the throat. Stay connected to your body. So burning in the muscles. I like to remind this all the time, yes. Pain in the joints, no, the neck, shoulder joints, the hip joints, the low back, the knees, the wrists, the ankles. 2 more rounds of breath. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's time to take a rest. We're working here, right? Lots of strength in the left thigh. Tabletop, and just find a nice easy seat. So if we have a blanket, we can sit on the blanket. If we have tense hips, that kind of takes the edge off of easy seat. Maybe not legs crossed, right? Maybe feet flat. We did a lot of heat in the lower body, building with that strength. So we might feel good here, right? Keeping the core strong, feeling the sit bones grounding into the blanket, the earth, right? Breathe. Feel, inhale, arms up. Exhale, cactus arms. One more time. Look up if that feels good, right? If it doesn't, then keep the neck in neutral. Soften the shoulder blades down the back. We chose to sit with the legs crossed. Let's simply uncross, recross. Changing the leg, it just allows the hips to open equal and even. So the practice of yoga, we're looking to be balanced, right? Mind and body. So what we do for one side, we do for the other. And when we notice an imbalance in the body and muscular tension, then we might linger a little bit longer, right? On each side. Let's find staff position. Same thing, if we feel our hips lifting, we can sit on a blanket or roll over a mat. Let's outstretch our legs, flex the feet, and we're going to start to take this hinge from the hips, coming back to that focus on the low back. If there's still a lot of tension in the hamstrings, we can bend the knees. If we suffer from sciatica, keep a bend to the knees. So in the studio, we use blocks under the knees, right? At home, we can use blankets, pillows. So sciatica, we just want to lay off of really deep hamstring stretches. That tends to aggravate, right? Or we can just keep that bend. If we don't suffer from sciatica, let that go, right? Shoulder softening, breathe. So we're taking this hinge from our hips, keeping our chest, our heart lifted, and we're keeping our spine long. So we're lengthening the exhale. Though, once again, we're holding the posture, we have our flow, our vibration continuing with our breath. So we're inviting gratitude into our body, our heart, our mind. And then we're listening for that long exhale. And as we do that, we might notice tension softening around the low back, the hamstrings, right? Feet are active. This is called dorsiflexion of the toes. As we draw the toes to the shin, helps to deepen that stretch in the calves. So we might get enough length to reach our feet. Now, that's not the goal to yoga. We talk about this a lot in gentle yoga. If we can reach our toes, then we're gonna yogi grip, which is peace fingers. I love doing this. Wrap them around the big toe, cap the big toe with the thumb. So if you're thinking, I'm nowhere near there, that's fine. Then you're here, right? Breathe. Keep the length in the spine. So we offer that yogi grip for the toes just so that we're not pulling on the toes. Because sometimes we just have that desire, right, to reach our feet because we think that's what yoga is all about. And that's not what it's all about. So if we are going to make it to the feet, the peace fingers just connects, pulling on the toes. Soften the shoulders down. Let's take 2 more rounds of a long breath. Feel ready, we're going to safely make our way to the earth. So we're gonna take one knee with us, doesn't matter which. We're gonna use our opposite hand. Our core is active. That's our protection, right? That Mula Bandha, we activate those muscles in the pelvic floor that we stop our urine flow. We draw those muscles up, belly button kisses the spine. Come back so slow, this is hard, right? We're working the core. Find the forearm, the elbow. Continue to come back one vertebrae at a time. And then once we're back, here's that hug, both knees into the chest, low back, releasing. We might find a happy baby here. So let's keep our hands on the backs of the hamstrings. These are fun to do outside because we can watch the clouds. We might stay here, drawing our knees up and out. So our knees are headed like they're going to our armpits, but let's not get alarmed. They're not gonna make it there. But we're just drawing the knees up and out gently. Now we might stay here, right? Always ask the body for permission. We make little micro movements. Again, our core is strong, that protects the stretch. We're stretching those inner thighs, which can be really grouchy. Hips, and we're releasing the low back. If we feel like we want more is not always better. Maybe we take the calves, right? Our feet are active. Toes are drawing towards the shin. Breathe deeper. Yeah, so when we lie on the back, the earth supports the spine, so we kind of undo all the pressure to the back. If we still want more, we have more options. We can take the knife edge of the feet, or we can come back to that yogi grip we just talked about. So honor your body. Stretching should never be forced nor painful. Remember, if we cannot hear our whisper breath, then chances are we're holding our breath. Usually when life gets hard, we hold our breath, so that can be in stretching too. It's a pretty deep posture. So that's why we're connected. That's one of the reasons, many reasons, but one of the reasons we connect to the whisper breath. Can we hear our breath? Is our breath smooth, equal, and even? And then we start to lengthen the exhale, saying, hey, low back, hips, inner thighs. It's time to release tension. Now we can have fun here. We can even give ourselves a self-massage. Only if our tailbone is connected to the earth. So check in, right? If the tailbone is lifted, then we're gonna stay still and maybe just wiggle our face and maybe just wiggle our toes. If our tailbone's grounded, it might feel really special to gently rock side to side. Little massage for the low back. Oh, hey, pots. Oh, I used to have plants in the pots years ago. But remember, we had that drought. So I had to let all the potted plants die. And then I just figured, wow, I never got around to repotting them. So I'm not heading out to the stores right now. I'm social distancing. I'm safer at home. So that's why the pots are empty. Anyhow, I guess I'm still saving water. You see, I'm not doing this to become a YouTube star. This is for our group, right? This is how we interact when we're together, so trying to keep it the same. When we feel complete, maybe we draw the heels in, hug the knees in. All right, I need to keep these short for shorter. Let's take a nice gentle rotation. Remember, core strong, that's the protection when we rotate. The sun feels so good. Inhale, that lengthens the spine. Exhale, send both knees to the side, doesn't matter which, move so slow, right? And then maybe come back with the pace of your breath. Inhale. And then exhale. It's a little windshield wiper motion. We're gonna keep both shoulders grounded. So we could be capital T arms, we could be cactus arms. Palms face up, because we're still caring for those shoulders. allows that external rotation to happen. Chest is opening. So if we suffer from lower disc injury, we will stay flat foot. So if we have a bulging disc, right, we know that, chances are. Maybe we come to the knife edge of the foot. And then my blanket's right here, so this is really good. I'll move it to this side so that we can see it. So if the side of the thigh doesn't make it to the earth, we can use, right, our blanket, anything. That helps to bring this posture a little bit more restorative. We want to relax here. So I moved both my legs to the right, depends on wherever you are, right? So wherever the knees landed, or the legs, we look to the opposite side. So I'm going to look to the left. That takes care of that thick rope-like muscle that runs alongside the neck. Gentle yoga. I'm going to quiet down completely. Let's take about 4 more super long exhales. Take in your gratitude and then lengthen the exhale. Gentle yoga. When you're ready, bring the head and neck back to neutral first. So there's equal weight in the back of the skull. Core is strong. That's the protection of the movement, right? Engage the core. Inhale slowly, knees back to neutral, center. And then we're going to inhale so deep that helps to lengthen the spine. And then we're going to exhale those knees opposite direction. So opposite. Shoulders grounded, that protects, right? Little gentle rotation to the spine. Gentle release to the low back. Once the knees are settled, right, into the earth, the side of the thigh, into the blanket, whatever. And look to the opposite arm, elbow, hand, however, in position. Okay, gentle yoga. I'm going to quiet down. Let's take 5 full grateful rounds of breath, remembering to lengthen our exhale. Once we feel complete, head and neck to neutral first. Equal weight in the back of the skull. Core is active. Slowly bring the knees to center. And then we're going to reset the back by hugging the knees into the chest. Final relaxation. Find a place to be. And then I'm going to cut the video so that it's not so long. But take your relaxation, right, on your own. If on your back feels good, stay on your back. Don't ever cut final relaxation out of your practice. That's the biggest cheat, right? Shavasana, also known as final relaxation, is the most important part of our practice, especially right now. In this time of uncertainty, social distancing, that's our meditation. That continues our flow. that vibration, right? That helps to quiet the mind, calm the nerves, let go of unease. So find a place to be. It could be on your back, on your belly, child's pose, easy seated, legs up the wall. It's wherever your body can relax completely. And then I'm going to cue you there, and then I'm going to sign off. So once you get there, right, if you choose to be on your back, gentle yoga, and you're healing your back, keep your knees bent, feet flat, and then maybe heel toe the feet out, and then allow the knees to collapse in. That protects the low back and allows the body to relax. And then if we're on our backs, allow the palms to face up. That's that final undoing of our shoulders. And then from there, we're going to give our body permission to soften from scalp to toes. So just do a scan, take a deep breath in, discover where you're holding tension. A lot of the times it's in our face. Wiggle the eyebrows around, unhinge the jaw, open the jaw. Hope I'm not on the big screen, but whatever. Open the jaw, send the jaw in opposite direction, stick out the tongue, right? Let go of tension. A lot of times it's in our jaw, our center brow. Take an easy swallow, allow the lips to part so that we don't bring tension back. A lot of us are jaw clenchers. Soften the shoulders from wherever we are. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Allow the core to soften. And then the last couple things we do is we let go of that fancy yogic breath and we find our most natural state of breath. Happens automatically. And then we turn off that mind's eye. That's hard to do. That's our most challenging thing to do. So beginner to meditation, we connect to our most natural state of breath. And then whenever we notice a distraction, which we will, it'll be either something going on in the inner mind, maybe the tummy growls, maybe a lawnmower fires up outside, maybe the dog barks. Whatever the distraction is, acknowledge the distraction. It's not about ignoring the distraction. It's not about avoiding the distraction. That's not what meditation's about. Acknowledge the distraction. Remember, it goes back to that very beginning of the book, right? We're not avoiding feelings any longer. We're acknowledging, that aggravated me or that distracted me. But then we're going to quickly and gently draw our mind back to our most natural state of breath. And we're going to remind ourselves, that's all we're doing now. We're focusing on our natural state of breath. And there's nothing to really focus on there because breath happens automatically. It puts us to sleep, wakes us up in the morning. So remember that tool as you're distracted by myself signing out. Come back to your most natural state of breath. Stay there, be there. Until we meet again, have a grateful day.